Welcome. I'm Diane Mendenhall. I'm the president of the Supernovas, and I have the privilege of welcoming you all here tonight, as well as our virtual audience. Thank you for being here. And as season ticket members, you are so important to us, and we're starting this series just because of you. We're so appreciative of your investment in us and making Novas Nation the #1 pro volleyball fan base in the world. Thank you. You get to see these amazing women on the court, and we want to give you a kind of behind the curtain look at the Supernovas. So first of all, I want to thank Herdat Sports, the bar, and everything they do for us. They're helping us partnering with us tonight, but they partner with us throughout the season. What happens in the arena, that's with them. So give a round of applause to Herdat, the team tonight. Thank you. And next up, thanks to the Supernova front office staff and our ownership for all your hard work. You guys are the best. So round of applause for them. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to bring up the moderator for this evening. And you see her on the court. Sometimes you see her on ESPN. But the very talented, Herdat to own, Anna Bellenhausen. And next up, this gentleman needs no introduction. If you don't know who he is, you probably should leave. But please welcome the Supernovas general manager, my dear friend, John Cook.
All right, well, Diane, thank you so much for the introduction. Yeah, so me and John combined, we have 5 national championships up here, so no big deal or anything. John, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all again, seriously, being season ticket holders. Like, you guys are on the forefront of women's sports here in Omaha, Nebraska, the volleyball capital of the world. So we're so happy that you guys choose to spend an evening with us. We'll surely entertain you, at least John will, right? All right, okay. But I guess first off, just want to start with free agency because, John, you got to really jump into this from college to now pro. And can you kind of give us a behind-the-scenes look at what went into free agency for you and putting together a roster in, 36 hours?
Yeah, so it all happened really quickly. I was talking with Diane. We did the general manager thing, and then the next thing I know, next day I'm trying to hire a coach, and then we're trying to get ready and hire Luca. You guys are going to love Luca. He was our first choice as a coach. He's won a gold medal. He's coaching with the USA men right now. He's coaching in college. He's played overseas, pro, and he's got a lot of fire. So, and Brooke's going to love him because he played pro for several years, and he's about a 5'11" dude playing men's volleyball outside hitter. So he's going to teach these guys how to tool the block. But so anyway, the next step was right away this free agency thing, and as the league was forming, they decided. Again, it was just going to start all over. And so what we did, and I don't know if Thomas, one of the assistant coaches, I don't know if he's here tonight, but he did a great job of putting together. We had a huge whiteboard going. We had Team A, Team B, Team C. Everything had to be approved by Brooke. So we were constantly in communication with her, but she was kind of giving us a lot of feedback on who she would like to play with, and there's all kinds of rumors going on, and then you're talking with agents, and again, it's all happened very, very quickly, and when the clock hit, it was mass chaos, and we're constantly talking with agents and players, and they're trying to get commitments, and it all happened with, I don't know, it seemed like it was about a day or two that this all happened, and what I've been bragging about is I really believe that we've put together a team that not only is very talented, they're great people, they play with great passion, they're going to have a great team and a great culture because I think they all really like each other, love each other, they all know each other, and so we're really, really excited. And so And we went through the process, it was very interesting for me because normally in my world, up until a year ago, I'm talking to 15-year-olds and no agents. Although now they have agents. So that's one of the reasons I'm with Supernovas now. I'm not with college anymore. I don't want to deal with agents with 15-year-olds. So, but in talking with these guys, they're older, they're more mature, they know what they want. And it was really refreshing for me because I really enjoyed that, having those conversations and working through these things. And I'm really, really impressed with the young women that are going to make up the Supernovas this year.
Absolutely. So currently the roster sits at 13, up to 16 maximum on this roster. You also have to factor in the draftees, which is coming up here in November. How much of a process was that for you too? You really have to pick and choose between players, and there's just such a pool of talent here in pro volleyball.
Right. Again, we have a salary cap we're working under, so you can make your team as small or up to 16. And we also, two of the players now on the team when the season starts are going to have to be from college. So we have to draft 2 and put them on the roster. So we're in the process now of evaluating who we want to draft and what position we need those players in. So that's what we're all doing, watching and evaluating and kind of putting together our list. And in about another month, we'll start gathering information, potentially talking to agents and seeing, what they want to do and do they want to play or, do they want to stay in school? So there's all kinds of things we have to work through before we make the final draft, which is November 24th. And Diane told me, I guess it all happens right here. So this is pretty cool. So, and I got to tell you guys, when all this started, about 3 days before Diane called me, we talked about all this. I watched the movie was on and it was raining out. And so we had nothing to do. And Moneyball came on. This is all Moneyball. This is what it's like. If you watch the movie Moneyball, this is what the world's like now in this free agency and putting these teams together. So I thought that was kind of ironic that I watched that movie right before all this went down. But anyway, that's what we're working on now.
Okay, Billy Bean. I love it. Let's go. All right, well, let's bring up our first guest of the night, the reigning outside hitter of the year, Brooke Nunaviller. Give it up for Brooke. Okay, I heard you guys talking earlier. Like, are we doing a TikTok together soon or not? I think the entire world is waiting for a collab here.
I've been getting grilled. When are you doing a TikTok with Brooke? So she must be a TikTok star. Harper dumped me. So
as long as I can do it on your account, John. That's
you can have my phone. They take my phone. I don't even know how to do it. So you can take my phone and make it happen.
That was the first thing John said to me. He said, we've had a lot of TikTok requests. I'm like, oh, okay. You better get brainstorming here.
Okay, just so you know, my last one was 5 million. So you can make money
That's
on
a lot
that,
of pressure.
All right. Well, Brooke, want to start with you and just why return to Omaha? Why stay with the Omaha Supernovas?
It's honestly a very easy decision for me. I think, one, I've had 2 of the most incredible seasons I've had in my volleyball career. It's a lot due to the people behind it, whether that's our support staff, my teammates, the fans, just the most incredible people in the world. And it's really, there's just no atmosphere like it to play in front of all of you guys at CHI. We're filling that stadium consistently. And so, I don't know, I feel so loved and supported here. And so it's very easy for me.
Pretty easy decision for you too.
Yes. I still have nightmares from what year was that?
2022.
2022.
no.
I still have nightmares from that. She crushed us out there. So anyway, it was a hell of a match.
Yes, it was. I think that was the only win I have against Nebraska, though, in my career.
Well, the other players here, just so you guys know, they all have wins against Nebraska. So
I've got 'em-
I have
I've got
much
'em written down,
respect.
too.
Okay, you got it.
Yep.
So I was thinking about that driving up here.
They all do. Yep. 2022, 5-set thriller to knock Nebraska out of the
Oh, no.
NCAA tournament in the Sweet 16. Okay, so set 4 was 32-30. Was that one of the craziest sets you've ever played? Because there's been higher sets for you too. Like
Yeah.
Wisconsin went to 40 with you, I think.
Yeah, we played Minnesota in something about the Sweet 16 in Oregon for us. We were the 15 seed my freshman year. I was playing libero, and we were playing the 2nd seed Minnesota, and we upset them. That was one of the craziest matches. And then Nebraska, my 5th year following that in the Sweet 16, was also crazy. But I think in the 4th set, the amount of people that come up to me and they're like, Brooke, like, you got a chest dig kill overpass. And it was off of Allie Batenhorst too. And so last year they're like, do you guys ever talk about that? And Allie and I, that was like one of the first conversations we had. But no, Nebraska's always a really frustrating team for me to play in college, especially just as an outside. I feel like who relies on like craft and tips and using my toolbox. They're so scrappy and I'm so frustrated, like a massive block, but then the floor defense behind, I'm like, dang, it's hard to score against you guys. But no, it's always a fun match.
Yep. John, what makes her such a special outside hitter?
I think her heart. She's a super competitor. She battles. She's got every shot. Her toolbox. She talks about. She's got every shot in the book, and she also is a great passer. But when I watch Brooke, and I've watched her play. I remember in Arizona watching you play. I mean, I don't know, you're about this big. Just plays with passion and fire, and that's why she's a leader here with the Supernovas, and will be the part of the heart and soul of this team.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brooke, what's it been like the past 2 years for you and really getting, welcomed into this culture here in Omaha, being such a big part of this community, not only on the court, but off the court too?
Yeah, it was pretty immediate for me. I think we all felt that. We would hear, I've said this so many times, but before season 1, it's like, oh, we have 2,000 season tickets hold, 3,000, 4,000. And you really just don't understand that number until you walk out of CHI and you're like, wow, these fans are amazing. They're loud. The seats are filled. Like I said before, credit to the staff for like going out in events and filling it. But yeah, it's immediate support. And as soon as we stepped out of CHI, we felt that in season 1. And it's just continuing to grow now. But I don't know, there's this environment. It's so fun to play in. And so I'm excited to see it's going to be even bigger this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's been the early impressions of the roster so far? Because there's quite a bit of talent on this thing.
So excited. I think there's 2 things you have to look at in any team sport. And it's really obviously physical abilities, the talent, the stats that you bring. But also I think something that's even more important is the work ethic of the players, the morale. Are they going to come into the gym and grind every single day? Are they going to be girls they're not going to complain about a hard practice? They're going to embrace it. I think every single player that I've had interactions with, I have full trust that they'll all bring that. And I think that's really hard to find. I think those 2 players sitting over there, I've gotten to play with both of them. They're incredible. So you guys are going to have so much fun watching them. And I'm going to have a blast playing with them this whole season. But no, they've just done a fantastic job building the roster. And you have both of those categories checked.
Yep. John, what are you specifically looking at in building that roster, whether it's, the talent, but yes, also, is this group going to fit together well on the court?
Well, that's a big thing for me. And early in my coaching career, I could care less about culture and how people got along. But now I think it's in this generation is really important. And you see teams that have great culture and great chemistry, they can max it out. And part of the thing was we had all kinds of conversations about these players. How would they fit in? What would they bring to this group in addition to their volleyball skills? There's a lot of good players, but you got to have something to give you an edge. And I think that's why this team, I think, is going to be so much fun to watch. And I've been telling everybody this team is going to be a blast to be around and to watch. And I know Luke is really excited to coach these guys. So
yeah. Have you gotten to connect a ton with Luca too before this, Brooke?
We've honestly only had 1 phone call
Okay.
and nothing but a great first impression so far. So, and I've talked to a lot of the girls, I've asked their opinions and they have nothing but great things to say. Like John was saying, he was a similar player to me. So I'm really, really excited to learn from him. I think at this point in my career, it's like, I have a lot of room for growth. And I think any technical feedback and any sort of similarities that I can take away from whether it's a coach or a teammate, I'm really excited about. So that'll be fun.
What made Luca the right person for this job?
I'd actually tried to hire Luca a couple of times as assistant coach in Nebraska. That never worked out. But his background, he's coached men, he's coached women, international, college, and he's played. So he knows the system. He's been with Karch, who's a great coach, and when you're coaching at that level, you're coaching against the best in the world. And so, you know what? The other thing is he's super excited. I mean, he's got essentially a full-time job with USA Volleyball, but I think he senses the same thing I do. This pro women's volleyball league, Major League Volleyball's got a chance to be really special and grow in this country, and I think he wants to be a part of that. And that's same thing for me. I want to see if we can really get this thing going, and I think I've seen a lot of things that are pointing to that. And I think Brooke's right. I mean, I think the CHI is going to be packed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it all really starts here in Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, it's the epicenter. It's been proven over and over again. Okay, let's get to some fan questions to Brooke in the crowd. So we have a microphone. Give us a little hand raise if you'd like to ask a question. We also have some people online streaming too that will ask some questions too.
Thanks for coming tonight, guys. It's so good to see you, by the way.
All right. Does anybody have any questions that you want to ask Coach and Brooke?
How's everybody in the back there? You guys doing okay? You need some beers? What do you need here?
All right.
Round on the house. Here we go.
Whoa, John. Whoa.
These guys are all good up here.
Coach, you've done so much to promote the sport of volleyball, and we just so appreciate you doing that because I personally think that's just freaking awesome. So thank you. The other question I have is, because you've commented that that's one of your goals is to help promote the whole sport. What are some of the things that you think that you might be able to do to help build pro volleyball? Because not every team has been fortunate enough to have average attendance of 10,000 or something. So what are some things that are on your mind?
Yeah, I did an hour-and-a-half interview today, and that was one of the questions they asked me, how can I make an impact? And then one of the interesting questions they asked me was, if the San Diego team asked you to be general manager, would you have gone to San Diego? Because I grew up in San Diego, and my wife's from there, and we got great ties there. And I said, it's all going to start with Supernovas in Omaha. This is where it's going to start and go from there. So my goal is to, first of all, help make this. Diane's already done a heck of a job getting this to this level. Can I take it to another level? And I've got some experience with Nebraska. We've done some things that are outside the box. Obviously, the stadium match, the sellouts and all that. So can I bring some wisdom and experience to help everybody take it to another level? And then from there, we got to set the standard for all these other teams to meet. And one of the requirements in this league now to have a team and the ownership is you're going to have to ante up, which means you're going to have to be all in with everything and promotions and ticketing and trying to put, fans in the stands. And so I want to help Supernovas lead all that and be the role model for everybody else. And it's no different than what Nebraska volleyball is doing. Everybody's trying to be like Nebraska, and it's happening. It's happening in Wisconsin and Penn State and other places where they're getting great crowds and doing great promotions and trying to break records. Essentially, we're right there with the Supernovas.
Awesome. Okay, let's look into the chat here. Will there be a practice squad?
What do you mean by that?
I think
Practice players.
players, they mean, yeah.
No, well, we'll have a roster, and then we will have a couple of male managers that will come in and be able to bang balls, do things, simulate things, manager type guys. We call them jump hit guys.
Okay.
And so that'll help build the practice team. But otherwise, the goal is we tried to build a team that, like Brooke said, they're going to go at it every day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be dog eat dog, compete really hard. But we built this team where we got balance and depth at all the positions so we can have great practices. And that's how we're going to get better.
Mhm.
Another questions from the crowd over here.
Brooke, I just wanted to know, we waited forever for free agency for you to sign. We're just like, where's Brooke? Where's Brooke? Was it just your intention to be the last one or make us sweat?
Ooh, I know. I was reading the comments and I felt bad because I told a couple of people, I'm like, I had every intention of signing, right? I think for me, a big thing was agents were involved, and my agent is in Italy. And when things were happening and conversations started for us, it's 9 p.m. for him in Italy. So for me, it was just like handling the logistical things, having all my people read over the contracts and getting them involved and making sure everything was handled. But there wasn't a doubt I was coming back. Don't worry.
Okay, another question from the chat. I think this is a good one. From Kathy. Do the players get multi-year contracts? Will there be a draft every year?
They all sign 1-year contracts, and I think there will be a draft every year is the way it's going. And so it's pro sports.
Yeah.
So it's not like college. Here's a scholarship. You can't lose it unless you go to jail. And, everybody's happy. Now it's, you got to perform, you got to produce, and it's pro sports. And it's going to be no different than NFL, NBA. And so that's how it's going to work. And that's what's going to make this, really competitive.
Yeah. Take another one from the crowd in the back.
Anybody back here?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you mentioned the college draft. Are they going to have an order to the college draft? Whereas I know the Supernovas won the championship for the regular season. So I know in professional sports that they have a certain order. Is there going to be an order that way? Also, I know that in previous press conference, you mentioned that you were going to be a pipeline for Nebraska players, but whereas Creighton, Nebraska Cornhuskers, and so on, are you targeting certain seniors on Nebraska team, maybe?
Well, we're targeting everybody in the country. Of course, we're more familiar with Nebraska players or Creighton players in this area just because we've seen them so much. But it's wide open, and we're going to try to get the best fit for the Supernovas, and that's the number one goal. And I know Supernovas aren't drafting first. It's a Diane question, but I think we're 6th or 7th in the draft. There's always potential to trade. So that will be Moneyball draft day right here. There'll be, we'll be looking at that. And again, the key will be doing the homework up to that point, so you have a pretty good feel. But again, it could be, who knows what goes on, because as Brooke said, you've got these agents, and some of them are in Italy, so it makes it a little more challenging.
All right, we'll take another one from the crowd before we let Brooke go here.
And this is kind of a
Hot mic.
Yeah.
about specifically for you, Coach, about what's it like to re-recruit essentially potential players, like going on with Merritt and then having to have so many college players that you may have recruited that didn't go to Nebraska. What's that kind of like for you?
I really enjoy it because the conversations we had and getting to know these guys and doing your homework and talking to their coaches. I mean, I know all their coaches, so we were trying to gather as much information so we get the right fit. So it's no different than what I did for 25 years recruiting at Nebraska. Like I said, the difference was Brooke is mature. She knows what she wants. She wants to be on a great team. She's not worried about what color uniforms we wear or what dorms do I get. Do we get Adidas stuff? I mean, the questions you get from a 15-year-old, they're not thinking about the future. And again, I mean, these guys have a chance to, there's big money if they win the championship. So this is, it's about winning and performing and winning. And I really enjoyed that part of it.
Okay, we'll take a last question. Down over here. Oh, everyone back here.
Any questions?
Jacob. Oh, there's one over here too. We can do.
Yeah, we
Okay, sorry.
probably do too.
It's not
Yep.
my call.
This is your show too, bro.
This is actually two questions. First question is, Coach, I need you to dispel a rumor that you were encased in carbonite so they could make that bronze for you.
Who's asking the question? Oh, out there.
I'm way back here.
So you know how they do that? So I had to go to Loveland, Colorado, and they have this wand. So I use Brooke. They take it all over you. I stood in the pose, and they take it all over you, and this computer creates a 3D model, and then they make a clay model of that, and then eventually they bronze it. So it's a fascinating process. These artists are incredible, but that's how they did it.
So not carbonite. Glad to hear
No,
that.
yeah.
And then my second question is for Brooke. Are you happy to see Sydney coming back as your setter for this year?
Sydney's one of my best friends, one of my favorite people in the whole world. So absolutely I am. I think you kind of cling to your people per team. She's just someone that I have ultimate trust in, someone for Athletes Unlimited now going into season 3 with her. Yeah, like I said, one of my best friends, and she's just a fantastic volleyball player. She got even so much better with Indy last year, but we're very happy to have her back. Yes.
Yeah, we got one more.
Yeah, right now we're gonna look to the draft to get a setter. So that's the plan. Now it could change, but that's our plan, and we have some setters that we're very interested in.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to take a short break up here. Brooke, thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
on the
guys.
stage. And
Nice job, Brooke.
Thank you.
Morgan Hentz will be up next after our break.
Yeah, Momo.
All right. Well, welcome back. Before we welcome Morgan Hens up to the stage, want to give a nice shout out to Dr. Widman, the mindset coach for the Omaha Supernovas. He's in the house. Let's give him a round of applause. He's the best. Works with the Supernovas, countless high school teams, college teams. You had him work with you guys in Nebraska too, is that correct?
We on? Okay, there we go. I actually saw him at a coaches meeting back. It was about 2011, 12, somewhere in there. He was working with football. And I'm like, who's this guy in these meetings? And so I went and got him, and he worked with us for several years, and then has gone on to create this great company he's got, helping all kinds of teams and athletes. And I really believe we have the best performance team in the country for any team, any sport, with Dr. Wimmons, the mind coach, Brooke Smith, the nutritionist. We have Dr. Seaman, who's played softball at Nebraska, is our team doctor, and Becca, our trainer, came from Texas A&M, and Laura Pilikowski is our strength coach. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she's one of the greatest players ever at Nebraska. And I called her in about 2005 or 6 after she graduated. I said, hey, we need a strength coach. You want to be a strength coach? And she said, yeah, and was our strength coach. Then she married Matt Buttermore, who's now the coach at Nebraska Omaha. And when the Supernovas started, she got involved, and she's awesome. So we have a tremendous performance team, and Dr. Whitman's kind of the core of that team.
Yeah. All right, one more round of applause. Let's go. It's awesome to see you, Doc. All right, well, let's welcome to the stage the 2-time Libero of the Year, Morgan Hens. Morgan, welcome up. And welcome to Omaha, too. Yep, no, we'll get you all sorted here.
Yeah, it's been so nice being here so far. Everyone's been so friendly and welcoming. I couldn't ask for a better welcome.
I love it. All right, well, first question, why Omaha?
Well, one, the fans. You guys are the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
2, I was talking with Brooke and Sid after last season ended, and I was like, well, I want to play with my friends. So, yeah, and this organization is just so professional at, every single facet. Yeah, it's an honor to be here and, have a chance to compete with this group with an amazing staff. Yeah, I'm just so excited.
I love it. John, what was the conversation like to get Morgan on board?
It was easy, but it was already a done deal. There was some prep that went on, but yeah, Brooke, I told you, Brooke ran the show. So, but I watched Morgan play for years. She put a beat down on the Huskers, and anyway, she's a great player.
Yeah. So also your connection too with Luca and getting to kind of have a conversation with him before. Can you take us through that process too of getting to hear from Luca before signing?
Yeah. So we were both in California in the national team gym at the same time. And I only got to see him briefly because I think that was right when free agency opened up, and it was just a whirlwind, I'm sure, for the entire staff. So we talked about a few players, like, have you played with them? Like, what do you know? But yeah, he seems great, like super passionate, excited to play for that kind of passion. And yeah, it was very brief because he's a busy guy with the men's team. But yeah, it was cool to be able to be together in that moment.
I love it. Okay, John, I asked this about Brooke too, but what makes Morgan one of the best liberos in the world?
Well, she's a great athlete. So you watch her, she flies all over the court and makes great plays. She's developed into a great passer. And again, I'll keep saying this about all these guys. They're great teammates. She never stops smiling. She's got super energy. So she's one of those players that makes everybody around her better. And those players are hard to find.
Morgan, what have you learned through your years pro here in the U.S. and kind of getting acclimated of playing here and just, seeing what MLB has to offer?
Yeah, I only played 1 year overseas. It was in Germany, and it was during COVID. And I don't think anyone had the most wonderful year in 2020 or 2021. So when I heard that the league was getting started here in the U.S., it was such an easy decision for me. I probably wouldn't be playing volleyball if that wasn't for MLB and having this option to stay here, play in the U.S., be alongside friends and family. But it's just been so cool to see the growth of professional volleyball here in the U.S. over the past couple of years. And it's thanks to Omaha for setting the standard. And like Coach said before, like we're trying to get everyone else to catch up to that standard. But it's been so cool to see. And thank you all for supporting just volleyball and our dreams.
I love it. So when you came to Omaha as a visitor, what were your impressions of the crowd and the fans? Obviously, they weren't cheering for you yet, but what were your impressions?
Just, I feel like my jaw just hit the floor. I think it was the very first game of like formerly PVF. And I just was like, wow, this is what like professional volleyball can be here in the US. Yeah, it was definitely was not fun to be on the other side of the net of Supernova. So I'm excited to be on the Supernova side now.
Okay, we brought up some heartbreak with the Oregon Ducks, so I got to bring it up with the Stanford Cardinal as well. Not a good date for Nebraska fans, December 15th, 2018. Morgan Hens here had 32 digs in the national championship, a 5-set win over Nebraska. What do you remember about that?
Well, our
Coach?
game plan was to hit at Morgan because we thought she would shank them all, but no. I was telling them, don't hit at her. But it came down to, it was a great match. It came down to a line call that was,
Literally was maybe that
yeah,
much.
I mean, it could have gone either way, but just a great match. And yeah, 32 digs, that's a lot of digs. But she, like I said, she covers the whole court and did a great job. And yeah, so yeah, did you ever, the Huskers ever beat you when you were at Stanford?
I think we only played twice.
Okay, that was it.
But no. But I always remember like they were the most fun, some of the most memorable and fun matches like of my college career, just because I knew it was going to be some of the best volleyball I got to play.
Yeah. What do you remember from that national championship most?
It was probably the most memorable game of my college career. I just remember it was back and forth, like these long rallies and just like this relentless effort on both sides of the net. It was a blast.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's talk about your summer too and off-season training. What have you been up to, Morgan?
Yeah, so I got the opportunity to be out in the national team gym this summer. Got to travel during Volleyball Nations League, which is some of the top countries in the world put out a team. It's like a round robin, 3 different locations. So got to travel to Brazil, Serbia, and one leg was in Texas and Arlington. And then also the World Championships tournament, which just got finished, and that was in Thailand. But I mean, it was so fun to compete with great athletes that have that competitive drive and are constantly making you get better day in and day out. And to be able to compete against some of the best players in the world is just like, yeah, a dream come true. And just, I feel lucky to have gotten that opportunity this summer.
Yeah. How much growth have you seen in the sport of volleyball, Morgan? Just through your time, obviously through college and now pro, just looking back at where it started to right now.
Yeah, I think one huge thing has just been social media, women's volleyball, getting more coverage, getting more TV time. And I think the more we can be seen, like the more fans come right away. I've heard so many people say like, wow, that was my first volleyball game. I didn't know how exciting it was. I'm like, yeah, something happens like every point. You're not waiting for, you know, a touchdown, a basket to be scored, a goal to be scored. Like something's happening every point, and it keeps fans on the edge of their seats. And I think the more we can get it out there, like the more fans we're going to draw in.
John, from your POV, I mean, you've been in it forever. You've literally been in it from the start at Nebraska, 25 years back, and obviously what Terry Pettit did too. Just how much growth have you seen in this sport where it's really been on the forefront?
Well, if you look at the youth volleyball, again, I've been recruiting, and just see the how many tournaments there are and the number of kids playing. You could just see how this was going to be building over several years. And now we're seeing the results of it. The level of play is just going like this. The level of play is getting really good, and there's a lot more great athletes playing, and the coaching is getting better because you have to get better or you're going to get left behind. So I think volleyball is booming in this country, and I think it's going to be the premier women's sport in this country, and the fans love it, people love it, and these guys love playing. I mean, how many times you heard these two talk about, I love playing with my teammates. And that's the great thing about volleyball. It's the ultimate team game. You got 6 people, 900 square feet working together, and the ball's moving very quickly. So you have to be a great teammate, and I think that's going to be the core of this team. Is we got a lot of great teammates, and it's going to be a great team. They're going to play great volleyball as a team.
Yeah, how excited are you for this roster that they've put together?
Yeah, I am thrilled because like our level of depth and just the talent is truly incredible. And I'm just excited for practices. I think they're going to be ultra competitive and it's going to be hard to score, put a ball on the ground. But also, yeah, I think that's huge in just helping us prepare for matches. Like if we're facing the best in practices, we're going to be prepared going into matches. So I'm so excited.
I love it. All right, well, let's take some fan questions from Morgan. So we'll have John at the end too to ask additional questions. So who's got a question for Morgan Hentz?
Hi, Maureen.
Hi.
How much of influence did you have on Merritt Beeson for coming to join as well? Because I see that you guys played last year, and do you think your words and just like, hey, let's go together, that influenced her to come as well?
You know, we hadn't really talked like a ton before free agency had opened up, but I had an absolute blast playing with her in Atlanta. She's years beyond wise for her age. I feel like she's an incredible teammate, a natural leader, and I just had such a great time playing with her. So I am pumped that I get that opportunity again. But yeah, she's one of the best humans, and we're really lucky because we have young dogs and they love to play together. So we just usually threw them in an apartment together, let them wrestle and tire themselves out. So we didn't have to go on hour-long walks. It was great.
That's perfect. That works out. Okay, a question from Rachel in the chat. Did you play any other position than libero?
Good question. I played outside hitter until I got to college. I would have loved to play outside in college, but I didn't quite have the vertical or the toolbox that like Brooke has over there. But yeah, and then once I got to Stanford, I made the flip over to libero.
Awesome. All right, we'll take another one from the crowd for Morgan.
All right. Anybody back here have any questions? Got one over there.
Morgan, super excited to have you in Omaha. I did want to ask, what are some of the big differences in like the style of play that you've seen like USA women's internationally versus playing here in the US?
Yeah, really great question. One major difference is just the ball itself. It's like standard across international level to use the Mikasa volleyball. I don't know if you all have seen it before, but it's like yellow and purple and kind of swirly. So sometimes it takes a little bit of adjusting to get used to that ball. Second thing, I think opposite hitters are just very dominant for a lot of national teams. There's just a couple really incredible attackers. I think of Melissa Vargas. She currently competes for the country of Turkey. And then Boskovic, she competes for Serbia. And I haven't quite seen that here in the US. Like I know we're going to get there, but I think at a young age, a lot of girls, if they have a great arm on them in the US, we make them become outsides, but it's almost the opposite overseas. Like they become opposite hitters. So I feel like that's two major differences there.
Okay, another question in the chat. Are any of your Stanford team members playing professionally still, Morgan?
Yeah, I have several teammates still playing. Catherine Plummer, she's currently competing in Turkey. Jenna Gray, she's competing in Brazil. Adriana Fitzmaurice, she'll actually compete for League One Nebraska. So I'll get to see her. I'm really excited. And then a couple younger players like Kendall Kipp, she's in Turkey. McKenna Vincini, she'll compete in San Diego for MLB. And then I didn't play with a couple of the girls, but yeah, I'm getting really old now. So, but there are several that are still out there competing.
And I was kind of wondering first,
Who's the hardest hitter you've come up against? And number two, what's your go-to for recovery?
Great questions. I would say one of the hardest hitters was Catherine Plummer, only because of the way that she hits the ball. She doesn't put a lot of spin on it. So it's just like a floater, and somehow it finds your face a lot of the time, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, and for recovery, I feel like part of it is nutrition, like just eating the right things. And for me, like getting a great night's sleep. I think like that's super helpful. But all this new technology coming out of like cryotherapy, ice baths, red light therapy. Actually really like red light therapy for my knees. I think it's helped a ton for inflammation. And then just ice, lots of ice.
Okay, question from Brian in the chat. Any personal or professional goals for the season for you, Morgan?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think first and foremost is the team winning. Like that would be the dream. Like when the team wins, everyone wins. So yeah, that's the main goal. And just to continue loving playing, especially with this group. I'm really looking forward to not only getting to know my fellow teammates on the court, but off the court too. I think coaches talked about like culture and creating that. I think how you create that culture is putting in the time off the court to not only get to know him as a player, but as a person as well.
Sweet. Got time for another question?
All right. Any more questions back here? Oh. All right.
Morgan, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a golden retriever.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could see that with
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Everyone's like, oh, that kind of fits for your personality. Yeah, he's great. His name is Ollie. He's a bundle of energy. Yeah, yeah.
Morgan, outside of volleyball, and also the dog, what keeps you busy? What do you like?
I love spending time with my family. I'm from Northern Kentucky area, so whenever I get a chance to be at home, I'm there spending it with them. I love to swim. I really love to read. I feel like after graduating, I don't know, in college, I wasn't really reading for fun. I feel like your head's just kind of always in a textbook. So I love fantasy now, like all the Sarah J. Maas books, like Throne of Glass, ACOTAR. So that's been really fun for me to enjoy reading again.
All right, got a question up front.
I want to say that I appreciate what you do for the little girls that look up to you so much, and that everything that they see in your ability and your stamina and everything, I just want to thank you.
Oh, thank you. You're gonna make me cry. You bring tears to my eyes. Thank you. That's really kind of you to say.
I don't think I'm gonna need that. Can you tell those little girls how you take care of your mental health?
Yeah, I mean, I think preparing physically and preparing mentally, you should be investing time in both equally. So I talk frequently with a sports psychologist to help me with any lingering like performance anxiety. I like to journal a lot, talk about my goals for the day, like how do I want to show up as a person. It's super important to find the right mental skills and preparation so that you can bring your best version of yourself and feel authentic to yourself too. So it's really important to find what works for you. And what I've learned is that everything is constantly changing. Once I think I have it figured out, well, life comes at you and you have to figure it out again. So I think that you just have to keep learning and being open to growing.
Awesome. Well, Morgan, thank you so much for your time up here. We cannot wait to see you with Omaha Supernovas this season.
Yeah, I can't wait to be here. You guys are amazing.
Yeah. All right, one more time for Morgan Head.
Good job, Morgan.
All right. All right, well, now welcome up 7-year Team USA veteran and 2016 National Player of the Year outside hitter, Sarah Wilhite Parsons.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome on. All right, well, I want to dive into free agency for you because I know you're a little bit of a late addition. Can we dive into that between you two?
I can't remember how that went.
It actually
Oh,
started.
yeah. I think you should tell a story because
Yeah.
you were deciding she's got some other. I don't know. Do you have a dog? But we can.
No, I don't.
We're going to talk about babies. So
Okay.
let's go.
I do have a
Yeah.
child. Actually,
Remember, she's 7-year veteran, so she's a little older.
yeah, Morgan made a comment about
Yeah.
being old. I was like, oh no. What does that make me? Good. Sorry, everyone. Actually, Morgan was the first to text me. She was like, "Hey, are you playing, or are you planning to? Do you have any desire to?" And then from there, I actually talked to Luca on the phone, and it kind of came out of nowhere. I had signed to play Athletes Unlimited, which is going on right now here in Omaha. But yeah, I didn't know what was happening beyond that yet. And so Morgan kind of got the ball rolling, and yeah, that's how it started. I don't know if you want to.
Well, from there, you and Luca had a great relationship because she was in the gym with Luca for 4 years or
Yeah, 4.
probably 4 years. So anyway, she wasn't on our board because she had a baby and was, taking care of her baby. And so anyway, it kind of just evolved, and Luca really wanted her to be a part of the team, and we got it worked out. Because you can bring a dog when you come here to Omaha. Now, when you bring a baby, it's a little more complicated. We need a little more support. And again, I don't know where Diane is, but Diane's done a great job of helping Sarah coordinate all this with her family and be able to have, help with raising a baby.
Yeah, that's definitely what stuck out to me the most. That's what definitely stuck out to me the most from the very beginning. I felt so supported because I was making a decision not just for myself, which is what I had done for the 7 years professionally overseas, but I was making it for my family too, because we were settled a little bit in Minnesota, and now they're here with me in Omaha. So yeah, the support has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah. What went into that decision for you, Sarah? I mean, first of all, congratulations with Ezra, your baby, and your husband. Just what made that decision for you to want to come back to play volleyball?
Yeah, I had a difficult postpartum. I would say I had a C-section, and so the healing was a little bit slower than I wanted. And then I signed on to play Athletes Unlimited because I was like, okay, 7 weeks. I really wanted to work towards something. And then, I think I was around 6 months postpartum when I got contacted about the Supernovas, and I was honestly feeling like I felt like I turned a corner on the recovery, and just hearing that someone was interested in me. And then my first feeling was like, oh, could I do this? I definitely really dug into that feeling and felt a lot of peace about it. Actually, from even before I'd made the decision, I was like, this is something that I'm really excited to do. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I felt. And I feel like Omaha is, like I said before, I just felt so supported, and it just felt like the right fit from the very beginning. So yeah.
John, what stood out to you about her play on the court? Because you're familiar, you went to Minnesota, so you got.
I know we lost
battles.
a lot of matches to her.
Don't worry, I have those written down too.
She played with some great players. We had some great matches. Great, you guys are really good. I can remember one match. I'm like, wow, this is unreal. How good you guys were playing. But Sarah's a veteran. She's been in the USA gym. She's played overseas. So we're going to have some young players. So balancing that with a veteran would be really, really important. And I think the other big thing, and this maybe not so much with the team, but Sarah's going to be a great role model for moms. Here she is being a professional athlete, raising a family. And I think there's going to be a lot of people really are going to kind of fall in love with that. And again, one of the things with the Supernovas, there's a lot of moms and daughters that are coming to the games. And what's a better role model than have a mom and with the baby going through all this? And I think it's going to be a great story to follow, and she's going to be a great role model. And again, she's a veteran. She's been there. She knows what it takes, and she'll be a great leader in our gym because of that.
I love it. Give a round of applause for that. Your career does not stop when you become a mom, and Sarah, you're a great example of that. Do you want to be a light for those, young women as well, and mothers in general?
Yeah, honestly, that's a dream of mine. I remember years ago, I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to have a baby and come back and play. And now I'm living that dream, and it's really remarkable, honestly. And there's been a couple people who have helped pave the way too, like Faluka. She played and came back for the 2021 Olympics, and Carly Lloyd. And there's people who have come back, and they've been a great resource for me. And so I really hope to be a good resource for those to follow.
Okay, John, you haven't lost too many matches in your career, so I got to bring up the two losses in Minnesota here. Okay.
Let's get them out.
All right, so October 23rd, 2015, number 9 Minnesota upset number 3 Nebraska in 4 sets.
Where was that?
It was in Lincoln.
In Lincoln. That's
Yep.
that's the match. I remember you guys were unreal. I mean, I'm like, whoa, we're in trouble.
11 kills for Sarah that night. Do you guys remember that match at all? Sarah, maybe coming to Lincoln and seeing that atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, that atmosphere is unlike any other. It's a really special place to play. So I definitely remember the red. But it's like the fans, Nebraska fans in general, they just love you guys love volleyball so much. So it's always such a joy to play in front of you. And but yeah, that was a fun match.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, now they'll be cheering for you.
I know.
So it's all good now.
Way better.
Way better. Okay. All right. Then Minnesota reverse swept Nebraska November 23rd, 2016. This was in Minnesota. So this was number 2 Gophers versus the number 1 Huskers. You had 19 kills and a career high 25 digs. So do you remember that match?
I do remember that match. I remember that.
Was it a reverse sweep?
It was a reverse sweep.
We were down 0-2, and then I remember Justine down the line aced me like really bad. It was like 23-23. That's one I remember actually it was like around senior night too. So it's like right before Thanksgiving. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I think Nebraska and Minnesota have gone 5 games more than any other 2 programs in the country.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to be going 5 games tonight, automatic.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Yeah. Okay, so those were the only 2 losses I could find on the Sarah's.
I know, we got beat a lot.
It's 4-2, so you guys have 4 games on
Celebrate.
Minnesota though. So there you go.
Yeah, that's why we recruited these players, because they beat the Huskers. You beat the Huskers, you're going to beat anybody.
There you go. See, now you're getting a chance to re-recruit all this talent. Is that fun for you too? I know you told Sydney Hilly, you told me no before college, so now you can't tell me no twice.
Yeah. Well, that's a good line to share on these guys that get a second chance. Sometimes it pays off.
I love it. Well, Sarah, what are you most looking forward to in joining the Supernovas and having this incredible fan base?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to be in Nebraska, playing in Nebraska. I'm excited for the team. The team is so great. And because I joined a little bit later, I got to see it kind of form before signing. So I knew a lot of the girls that were signed on, and that was a huge selling point for me. There a lot of good volleyball players, but even better people. And the organization too, as a whole, has been, like I said before, and I'll keep saying it, how supportive they've been. I'm just excited to compete again. I'm excited to come back and work towards something, work with a group of people they're just all driven and excited and want to win. And that's what I'm most excited for.
Yeah. And if fans are itching to get some volleyball, Athletes Unlimited, October 3rd through the 13th, you'll be there. We got the whole crew there, really. Plenty of Supernovas, plenty of action. That's at Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. So anyone going out to that? Do we have fans going out there? Okay, I love it. Get your tickets. Get your tickets. That'll be fun. All right, let's take some questions for Sarah from the crowd.
Hello, thanks for being here. With all of your veteran experience, what is something that you feel you can provide to the team? And what's something do you think you can learn from a lot of these younger players?
Yeah, I think something that I can bring, I've played in I've played 7 years in 5 different countries. And so I've played a lot of different styles of volleyball. I think that brings a lot of experience to me. And my biggest goal is to be steady for those around me and to offer advice if they ask, but also just lead by example and work hard. And I'm going to learn a lot from these younger players. I know that I will. Volleyball has changed a lot as the years go on, and it's really physical. And like Brooke, she's tooling the block like crazy, and that's something that I can learn from. And so I think it's going to be a really cool balance of, okay, I have some of this experience, and I have a lot of really fun arms and just really talented players in the mix. And so I think it's going to flow really nicely.
Great question. Okay, we got one from the chat from Kevin. He says several young players or players have young children. How do these women balance the young ones at home?
Like, how do I balance?
Yeah.
Ooh, this has been the first week of it. I've been a volleyball player and I've been a mom, and this last week of training with Athletes Unlimited was the first time that I've been doing both. So I'm a little tired, but in different ways. He's popping a lot of teeth out right now, so he's not sleeping much. But it's been a cool challenge because I get to show up in the gym and kind of block out the outside things and really just get in the gym and work hard. And that's probably going to be what's most important for me going through the season is balancing the two. And they can really balance well together. And yeah.
All right, another one from the crowd in the back.
What are some of the tangible and intangible skills that you'll be able to bring to playing for the Supernovas this year?
Good question. I'm working back from having a baby, so I don't necessarily consider myself the same player as I was before the baby yet. But I've always, I guess, tangible. I would say pretty steady, consistent, and maybe don't make a ton of mistakes. Those kind of things. But intangible, I feel like I'm just I feel weird talking about myself like this. This is not one of my strengths to talk. I don't mean to be like tooting my own horn. But I just feel like because of my experience in the moment, I'm composed and can bring some calm if there's some chaos. And yeah, those have been my strengths in the past, and I'll definitely try to capitalize on that during the season.
All right, another question in the chat from Janet. How are you enjoying being in Omaha?
I've loved it. I love trying new restaurants. I love coffee, trying new coffee places. We go for a lot of walks with Ezra. And so we're just learning about the city, and everyone is so kind. I'm from the Midwest, and so I feel like Midwest people, you get it.
Oh, yeah. Nebraska nice is real.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Minnesota nice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're from California too.
I know.
You found out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Minnesota nice is also a thing.
Yep.
So I just feel very welcomed, and I'm so grateful to be here in front of all of you guys tonight and to meet a lot of faces that I'll see throughout the season. And yeah, Omaha's been wonderful.
Awesome. All right, another question in the crowd in the front. Anyone got one for Sarah? Any favorite coffee spots you found?
Yeah. I want to know.
We got to
what you
hear.
find.
What
Well, the one right across the street from us is Roast in
Exarban.
Exarban. I wasn't even going
I'll
to
help
try
you
to
out with
pronounce
that
it.
one.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I did just learn that that's Nebraska backwards.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
cool.
the second thing you'll learn here.
There's one called Archetype.
Yep.
Is that right? Been there?
Okay.
Yeah. I've also tried that ice cream, not coffee, but the ice cream shop cone flour.
Yeah.
Very
One
good.
of the best in the world.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Really good. Yeah.
You haven't tried Runza yet, though. You're
No.
gonna get that question. I'm just
What is
warning
it called?
you. Runza.
Okay, I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay. You need to try
It's not a
Runza.
coffee place.
Oh, what
It's
is
not
it?
a coffee place. I guess I should have
Oh, yeah.
probably
Wait till it
mentioned
gets
that.
really cold, then go to Renza.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
do it before a game.
Yeah.
I assumed coffee, so
Yeah.
Yeah, not
I'll learn.
coffee.
I'll
It's not a
learn.
coffee place.
No.
I'll learn. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Sarah? I could keep talking about Runza if you guys want me to. Get the frings. The frings are good. It's
Okay.
onion rings and fries together.
Wow.
You can put the cheese on the Runza too. It's great.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Any thoughts, John?
Well, I only have Renzas on cold when it's about 10 degrees in a football game. Then
That's the
It's the
It'll
Nebraska,
warm you up.
it's the Nebraska
Warm you up.
hand warmer. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. Well, Sarah, we're so excited to have you in Omaha. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
All right, let's
Thanks
give it
so
up.
much.
All right, well, that leaves us with Mr. John Cook here to answer some questions from the crowd, because I know you guys have to have some more to draw them with, right? We got more in the crowd. We have to. what do you see, or how do you see that strategy evolving from converting some of these casual fans into more frequent flyers to games and building the sport out? So converting a casual fan into a true volleyball fan, John.
I've heard this a million times, like with Nebraska volleyball, and the first time I went to a Supernova match, you just fall in love with it. It's like, I'll give you an example. The first Supernova match I went to, I sat next to General Cotton. He's in charge of Stratcom. For you ladies over there, Stratcom is basically, if the world goes nuts, you want to be at Stratcom because they're going to be sending nuclear missiles and doing all that stuff. They control everything to protect the U.S. It's right here in Omaha. And I just saw him. It was one of his first matches, and he just, the way he was talking about it, and this is a guy that's talking to the president and all these guys every day, and just seeing his enthusiasm and how much he loved it and the athleticism, you just fall in love with it. And once you go, you're hooked. And so I think that's the key. And that's what impressed me the first time I went to a Supernovas match. I was very skeptical. I'm like, okay, there's nothing that can compare to Nebraska volleyball. And I was blown away. And it was a blast. And the way they interacted with the fans, and they made the kids feel special, and the fans feel special. And then, of course, watching the level of play was really impressive. And so anyway, I think that you go, you get hooked.
Okay, we'll take a look at the chat. Let's see. Any chance we can get Russ Rose here as a guest coach? Nebraska loves Coach Rose. What are the odds of that?
I don't know, Brooke, what do you think? You know Coach Rose? You guys got to be buddies, huh? Oh. Really? Wow. I'll ask him. He texts me about every 2 weeks. I get a text from him. We're buddies. And Sarah, when my daughter's first baby was born, he actually brought a little Penn State, what do you call them? Bouncies, jumpies, what are they called? Onesie, yeah, onesie. So, of course, when he was on his I knew he was on his last match. It was one of the last matches he was in. I knew he was going to retire, and it was at Nebraska. I think it was like Thanksgiving weekend. So I gave him a bottle of whiskey. So that was the trade-off. But I'll ask him. It'd be fun to get him back
cool.
here.
Yeah.
It'd be really fun to get him back here.
Great question. Okay, we'll take one in the back.
What do you think is the biggest change between collegiate and professional, not only from the player's standpoint, but from like a management standpoint?
Management standpoint, like I said, they're pros. They know how to take care of themselves. You heard Morgan talk about recovery. I mean, these guys, and this is what I tell freshmen when they come to Nebraska, like they care less about, you heard Morgan talk about sleep. Okay, we talk about sleep, we talk about recovery, all that. Freshmen think, I don't need to do this. Now, when you become a pro, if you don't do it, you're going to get cut. I mean, that's the bottom line. So now that becomes a tool for them to help them have an edge and be competitive. So they know how to manage themselves, or they would not be at this level. And the difference in the game is you've got players that are everybody's good. The game's faster. They're smarter. They make you pay if you make a mistake. You have to, like Sarah said, you know, in college you can get away with making a lot of errors. In the pro level you cannot, because the other team's not going to make a lot of errors. So the level of play becomes a little bit more efficient. It's a higher level of play. It's just better volleyball. And again, because you've got these players that are older now, and I think for them the game probably slows down a little bit. And I thought Sarah also made a great comment. She's composure. And when she said that, I remember her playing in college, how composed she was. That's why she was Big Ten Player of the Year. And were you National Player of the Year too? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but, you know, and if you watch her play, she's always smiling and she's very composed, and nothing rattles her. And I think that's, to get to this level, you've got to be like that. And I think college players are up and down. They're emotional. Did they flunk a test today? Did their boyfriend break up with them? I mean, they got all kinds of stuff going on. These guys are pros. They know what it takes. They know what how they need to perform. They're getting paid to do it. And again, it's a world where if you don't perform, you won't, be on a team. So these guys have to take care of themselves, and and that's where Dr. Whitman's so important, to help these guys with their mental part of that, how to handle that and keep that going on a consistent basis. So that's one of the reasons the level of play is much higher. They're just mentally way better, and physically they take care of themselves, and they have experience.
All right, question from the chat from Brian. With some international play ending partway through the season, how do you manage potential new players coming in? And are there any rules on that within the league?
Yeah, it's wide open. I mean, you can trade, you can get rid of players, you can pick up players. So that's the pro level. It's not like college where you have the portals where players can move, but otherwise, that's set. So this is just like the NFL, NBA. There's going to be you can move players around and pick up and trade. Now, our goal will be to put a team together and keep these guys together. So that's what our goal is, because again, every time you make changes, you're starting over with culture and chemistry, building that. And you guys heard these guys talk about, they got to spend time. They're friends. They want to play with each other. And again, I think that's what's going to give the Supernovas an edge.
Awesome. Question up here in the front.
Okay. How intelligent do you think Diane was in making the decision to bring you on as the GM?
Yeah, it's good up for Diane.
So you guys know the story. I gave Diane her first director of operations job. So I got her started in all this.
And then she moved on, and
Yeah.
so did you, which is great. But I mean, if you think about that culture of you and Diane together now, and then we're getting these young ladies, I get to say young because I'm a lot older than you guys, these wonderful young ladies here now, and they're high ranking names. I mean, just like how many national, player of the year, Big Ten and everything. What do you see this future going to be for the Supernovas? How do you think, because of Diane and you, and then these young ladies continuing to be here, Brooke, for, since day one? What do you see the future going to be?
Diane are doing this because we want to help. I want to give back to volleyball. And volleyball in Nebraska have been great to me. And now, can we do this with a pro team? And I think this is the next evolution for the sport of volleyball. Can we create this great pro league? You heard Sarah, she's played in 5 countries. Okay, think about that. You're married, you're playing in 5 countries, you're trying to start a family. I mean, that's a hard deal. And now if we can create this pro league where this is the best pro league in the world, and these guys can stay here and play, and then you heard them talk about their family and friends. Well, who do they want to be with? They want, you go to overseas, you never hear from them, you can't talk to them, you never see them play. It's not like they're on TV or radio here. So we're trying to give back and help this pro league get going. That's, I think that's what's driving both Diane and I. We could be doing other things. We got grandkids but when she approached me, the first was talk about coaching. I said no, because I want to be with my grandkids. And then the second thing was the general manager part. And I thought this could be pretty interesting. And I could be a difference maker without having to be there, 8 hours a day and losing sleep all night over how we're going to win the next match. So, but I can help in these other ways, and that's what inspired me. And I was so impressed with Diane and her team that she's put together, and the vision they have for where this is going to go. And I think it's got a great potential.
Awesome. Okay, question from Rachel in the chat. John Cook's commentary this year has improved Husker volleyball, and his perspective here tonight makes volleyball richer and more interesting. How have the commentating things gone for you, John?
Well, it's something I always wanted to do, and they asked me to do some matches, and so I've really enjoyed it. And what I've tried to do is try to teach. I love to teach. So as I'm commentating, I'm pointing things out. They gave me a telestrator, which was awesome, because now I can draw and do visual things. So it's been really fun trying to explain the game, and I've gotten so much great feedback people are really learning stuff. I got a bunch tonight. I'm really learning. You're pointing things out that I didn't ever think about, and so I really enjoy that. The travel's hard, so I'm not doing it the whole season, but I'm doing 10 total matches. So, but I'm really, really enjoying it, and it kind of keeps me in touch. And then, of course, I get to see players that potentially we might draft.
Yeah.
So that's the other part of it.
You're recruiting along the way.
Yeah.
All right, question in the back.
Coach, we found out early that Merritt was coming on board, and I was just kind of curious how that came about. Did she reach out to you? Did you reach out to her?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So Merritt is the best captain I've ever had in my coaching career. And she's, as Morgan says, she's an incredible person. And when she got drafted, well, when the draft came out, I told her, Supernovas were trying to get her. So there was this thing going on. Diane and I were talking. They're trying to make trades, and the number one, and we didn't know for sure she was going to go number one. I was hoping she didn't go number one because we're in the middle of the season still. And anyway, I told her, I said, okay, it looks like Atlanta is going to draft you, and you don't want to go to Atlanta. I said, anywhere you go, unless you go to the Supernovas, is going to be a letdown for you, because she's used to what happens at Nebraska in this crowd and what the Supernovas were doing and how the Supernovas are run as an organization. So I said, Merritt, everything's going to be a letdown for you. It's going to be disappointing for you. So go figure out a way with your agent and everything, get to the Supernovas. And she said, no, I want to be close to home. Well, as soon as the season was over and we started all this, she goes, Coach, I want to come to Omaha. You were right. So thank you for asking that. So I got it out there. And she wants to be here, and she realizes what she's missing. And she's also friends with these guys, and she's going to fit in great. Again, and talk about a culture builder and a team leader. She's amazing, and she's going to be on a mission this year, because I think, and I noticed a lot of the players that came right out of college, it was an adjustment for them and a struggle. Many of them struggled, and Merritt was one of those. But you got to be happy where you're at. And again, I think it was a little disappointing. I don't know, Morgan, you may know more than I do, but she wasn't happy down there, even though she was close to home. And so she reached out. She says, I want to get back to Omaha. So we're really lucky, and I'm excited for her.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll take another question up front. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Merritt was very well received, and there was a line of little kids for autographs for her after the game, and that was one of the reasons she told me that was why she wanted to come back to, just being so well received in Omaha and just feeling that love that never left from her time in Nebraska. I mean, she was a transfer into this program too, but you would have thought she played all 4 years at Nebraska.
No, yeah, she was meant to be here, and but yeah, that ovation she got was unbelievable, and I think it had a big impact on her.
Okay, any more questions in the crowd here? In the back?
I have a question about the roster. I see that obviously Sydney Hilly rocks, and super happy she's back. But are we going to get another setter on our roster?
Yeah, that was asked earlier, and you probably were ordering beers back there, or margaritas. We're going to go to setter in the draft is the plan, and we have a plan. So we'll see if it works out, but that's our plan right now.
Okay, I want to bring up something because I just talked to Layla Blackwell. This interview drops for you Supernovas fans on Sunday, but I'll give a little spoiler. So I asked her about getting connected with the Supernovas and getting signed. She said it was because of her play in the alumni match. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, so Layla Blackwell was at San Diego. Again, she was from San Diego, and San Diego went through a major transition, and they didn't have a coach, and so she was kind of lost. And then she came and played in the alumni match at Nebraska, and I'm watching and I'm like, whoa, Layla's getting after it. She looks really good. And so I called her up and I said, hey, because I think she was at a point where she was kind of, I'm not sure I'm going to play and I'm ready to move on. And so we had some long talks about that. And when we gave her the opportunity to come back to Supernovas, she was fired up and can't wait to get here. So I'm really excited because, again, another great teammate. And she's a very physical middle. So I'm really excited about her. And again, I think she's going to be on a mission after her first year. It was a rocky year. San Diego was kind of a mess as an organization, and they've restructured. So I think she's going to be really excited to be here and be in a happy place here and be supported like the Supernovas do it.
Yeah. All right, question in the back.
Similar to Merritt coming back to Nebraska, how did the conversation with Nora Sis go to get her back?
Well, another great question. I'm glad you asked that, because when I called Nora, I said, Nora, you've already turned me down. I wish, one of my greatest regrets is we didn't recruit you to Nebraska. And will you give me another chance? She said, yeah, coach, I will. So we started talking, and she was already back in Omaha. She wants to be close to home, and she has a boyfriend who's playing professional baseball. So he was down in Florida, and I think he's moving around now. So it all kind of worked out, and Nora just got best passer at the NORCECA tournament, and Reagan Cooper was MVP. So pretty nice to see those guys perform on a international tournament.
Love
But
it.
I think the world of her, and she gave us nightmares for all 4 years. I think every match went 5, and she was unbelievable when she played against Nebraska. She gave us nightmares.
How about the 17,000 plus at CHI for that Nebraska Creighton match? 5
Yeah.
sets too. I mean, they put on a show.
Yeah, it was awesome. And again, CHI is doing an awesome job. And I got to tell you guys a story, though. I don't know how many of you went to the rodeo a couple nights later after the Creighton match. Anybody go to the rodeo?
Going over there.
So were you there Friday night or Saturday night? Okay. So, you didn't see me get introduced there at the rodeo with the Cowboys? Yeah, I got introduced with 3 world champion rodeo people. So anyway, they were all complaining because they had the Creighton match. It broke a record, attendance record. And then that night they started bringing the dirt in, and they barely got it all ready to go by Friday, because they have to bring dirt in and corrals and set up the rodeo. So it was awesome. And anyway, great week for CHI in Omaha, having the rodeo there and getting all that done, and a new attendance record for a regular season match. Indoor match, not outdoor.
Yeah, they got to put that little asterisk on everything.
Yeah, I know, asterisk.
All right, final questions for John before we wrap up the show. Got anything front or back?
So the question is, has there been a big adjustment for me, not coaching? I had about a 30-minute burst on the very first day at the ABCA showcase where I thought, okay, I made a big mistake. I'm going to miss coaching. I'm a mess. And after about 30 minutes, I was over it. So now I'm doing all these other fun things, and it's all new for me. So it's pretty cool. Like meeting these guys and working with them is new, and doing the TV is new. So I'm really, really enjoying it. And I'm traveling more than I ever have, but that's just part of it because I'm trying to live in Wyoming. So, but anyway, yeah. So I'm over it. So,
How are the horses?
They're doing great.
They're great.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
fat and happy. So
That's perfect. That's what we
my
need.
Wyoming grass is great up there. So, but yeah, I want to thank all you guys. This is really impressive. There's no other team that's doing this, and I want to thank our 3 players that were here tonight. They did an awesome job. And if you guys aren't fired up after listening to these guys, I mean, it's going to be really fun. And can't wait. They'll start training December 1st. go up to a little before Christmas, take a little break, and then we don't have the schedule yet, but it'll start sometime in mid-January, and here we go. And so it's going to be a fun season.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see all you guys in CHI.
I love it. All right, well, draft day party November 24th. That'll be back here, and the schedule will drop sometime in late October. So we've got some exciting things. But again, thank you everyone for being a season ticket holder. Thank you for supporting the Omaha Supernovas. Again, being on the forefront of women's sports here in Omaha. It's what we do. We show up for women's sports here in the state of Nebraska. It's incredible. Thank you all. I'm Anna Bellinghausen for John Cook. Thank you all for coming out and drive safely.